Okay, so this weekend I was at a Stranger Things experience, which was really cool. So it was like an escape room meets uh I don't know, like a 3D kind of Captain Emo Disney show. Like we put those kind of together. And it was really awesome and really fun. So you go through it, and there's like, you're put in groups, you're put in teams. I was put in like the red group. I was in alpha section or A, and there was a beta section, B, and there was like a blue group and yellow group. And when you first go through it, there's like, you don't know what to expect. There's like this lab, and they're gonna do these experimentations, and you don't know what to expect from the ride at all, or the experience. So you go in, and they start playing like all these tapes and these scenarios about you're not the fake scenarios that you're part of a sleep study, and you find out that you're not really part of a sleep study. Actually, you've been chosen for like further experimentation for something else. And so they have like all these like puzzles on the table, and you're in like these groups, and you're supposed to like put together these puzzles, and you're timed. And so everybody tried to put together their puzzles, and uh, it was running out of time. They're like, "Stop! You have no more time." And it kind of, you can work together to do these things. Um, and I was trying to encourage, I guess, other people to like help each other to assist to finish the puzzles. And when I couldn't, I just um, I put all the pieces on top of each other. They don't actually go that way, but I was the only one that actually had a stack, so mine looked like a Jenga stack. It was totally wrong, but there were no more pieces left on the table. So it was, you know, kind of proud of that, even though it was weird and wrong. Uh, but there you go. And for some odd reason, they went around to like all the tables, and then they chose like a leader, right? And so they like give me this sticker because apparently how I solved the puzzle, whatever, I became the leader for my red group. So for the rest of the time, they did this like really cool thing where each group was supposed to be like really really good at something. So there was like intuitives that could like really good at like getting into the mind, right? And so they can control any person or any creature or anything with the mind. And then there was the other group that had the power of time. Now that's the blue group. I wanted to be a part of the blue group. I didn't get to be a part of the blue group. That would have been super cool. They controlled time. They can freeze things. They can speed it up. They can rewind. They had the power of time. That's the best power. And then I was in the red group, so I was considered to have like the power of strength. So the strength of will, the strength of heart, that kind of strength. And so, but basically, we had the power of telekinesis. So it's really cool. So we did like these like fake like stances or whatever, and they had for the blue group that does time. They put their hands out like this, woo, and then for the group that have the intuitives, like and they can get into people's heads, they do whoop like both at the same time. But you can't see me do it right now. But just imagine my other hand on my temple like that. Whoop. And then ours was like a power stance, like that. And so yeah, so we do that. Woo! And we can move things and make them fly and crush cans, and it was pretty cool. So they did like these illusions where we could actually like move objects and make them fly and do all kinds of fun stuff and like move panels and do. When you go in the other room, like you have to like do things with like this electrical panel and like figure out how to use like benches to block doors with like another puzzle piece. And it was just like each room had like a different scenario. It was like super cool. And then like, so I was in charge of like guiding my team through it. And you get like prompts, and then like in the videos, and then you guys have to like figure out things together, and then you like lead them through it. and it was like really fun. So when we went in the merchandise section, there was like people that looked like they worked there that like it seemed like they were passing me code or something. They'd be like, things go missing, and it was like the whole experience is pretty incredible. It's like the best 3D I've ever seen, and I've seen 3D places all around the world, but this one was like, this was not in LA, but their 3D was pretty amazing. So anyway, we get out, and like people that seem like, because I already knew like from the scenarios that they had actors like laced in your groups that you thought were like going through the experience with you, but they're not. They're like actors. And so like when somebody was like, when we're going through to like out of the experience and into the merchandise section, I thought this guy was like staff, just like an actor trying to give me like this extra special thing. So he gave me like this thing saying that there were things that were missing, there were people that were missing, and it was really whacked. And so I was like, okay. And then I saw this like thing that was like this guy was just randomly sitting at a table. It wasn't like regular merchandise. And so I went up to him and I was just like, I hear things are missing. And he goes, really? Is it like a person? Is it? And I was like, yeah, it's definitely a person. He goes, is it this? And then he named somebody, and I was like, I think that person is missing. He was like, okay. And then he told me like this like really cool thing to do. He says like, okay, you're gonna take 5 pictures, and so you're gonna look around and you're gonna take 5 pictures of like very specific things, and and you'll know what they are when you see them. So then I think like, and then you come back and you show them to me, and you'll get a prize. So then I'm thinking this is definitely a part of like another part of the experience that not like everybody gets, right? So just people that are like inquisitive and like go the extra mile, I guess, so to speak. So I'm like in this the first store section that he told me to go to, and I'm there, and there's like all of a sudden one of the staff workers comes up and starts organizing things exactly where I'm touching, and then leaves something behind, leaves a piece of paper behind, and then takes off. And then I look at the thing, and it's a piece of paper, and it has like all these check marks on what has been found, and on the back is 5 items that um, that kind of belong to each store. And then I'm thinking this is a part of the scavenger hunt. Obviously, these are the 5 things that I'm supposed to be looking for. And then they're leaving these clues for me. So I go and I take a picture of every single one of these items, and I'll bring it back. And I bring back the list. Because it says high priority on it. Missing, not done items, high priority. So then I'm thinking, of course, they're talking about things that are missing. These things are missing as far as not being checked off. They were on their own separate side. Obviously, this has to be a part of the thing. And so I bring it back, and the guy is like, no, actually, that's just like a person's actually work list. You just stole somebody's work list. And then I was like, realized that I overthought this way too much, and really it was just like these QR codes that are all the way around, and you just click on them, and they bring you into a game. You answer questions, and then you bring it back, and then you get this really cool prize. And so when I did that, I tried to tell people about it so that they could have the experience as well and go back and get their prize, because not a lot of people knew about it. It was just like this really cool special thing that if you were like, you just, I don't know, wanted to go down the rabbit hole, and you did. And so anyway, I did that. I was like, I was red group. There we go. They give you like these really cool like wristbands in the beginning. Like I said, I wanted to be blue, but I'm red this time. Whatever. And I give you the sticker. So anyway, this incident, which was kind of embarrassing, is not like unusual for me. I overthink everything. And so what happens is people think that they're getting talked to. They think that they're having clues. They think that they're being guided. They think that there's something higher that's helping them through this process. But what really usually ends up doing is, especially with highly intelligent people and highly intuitive people, is that uh, it's all not actually a part of the game. It's not actually where you're supposed to be looking or doing or being. It's usually the most simple thing, the most basic thing that you tend to overlook because you're too busy looking at the thing you think you're being guided to do. And that's how it generally works. Is That's why first principles is like kind of like the foundation of critical thinking is so important, so vital, because it's about getting down to the simplest form and then being logical about it so that you're not veering off into these all these crazy directions and stealing people's work lists. Of course I put it back, um, and where it was supposed to be, and so the person can complete their work. But I think we do this with so many different things. Some people are doing that when they're trying to chase after their hero and they go down all the wrong holes. Sometimes people do that as what they think as fulfilling their life mission, or people think about, they overlook so many different areas of their lives, and because of that they miss out on the real clues and they miss out on the real things, the real experiences that they're actually supposed to be having. And so we shouldn't be just like always like looking in about, oh, what is this thing trying to tell me, and what's trying to communicate with me, and what's trying to talk to me. What we really should be doing is just being in the moment and experiencing things with the people around us and the things that we're doing, um, and not reading into it too deep, and then just allowing life to unfold, and then learning from each moment that way. And then when we do get opportunities, because we always do, to gift other people what we've discovered, then that's how things grow, and things grow from there. Just like I overthought the game at the Stranger Things experience, and then was able to actually find out what the real thing was, and then I was able to guide other people to be able to enjoy the game the way it actually was meant to be played, which is like very simple, which was really cool. Like these little cracks on the wall that were like looked like a whole another dimension was opening up, and you clicked on it. It was a QR code that led you into a game. And so oftentimes the simplest explanation is actually the truth and is the explanation. And sometimes we want something deeper and more, and we sometimes feel like the simple takes away. That it can't be that simple, especially when highly intelligent people have a hard time with this, because you're able to form patterns and be able to connect things at such a high rate that everything becomes, in a way, simple, like limitless. Like it's just like, oh, everything really was this easy. And then once you think of that, you think like, no way can the actual thing be this easy or this simple. It has to be this complex thing. And sometimes in a way you kind of like long and beg for things to be harder, because nothing is a challenge at that point. And you don't, and the way that our minds work is we grow when we're challenged, when we're able to expand it. And so it's kind of almost like this yearning, but when we do that, we're actually holding ourselves back because we're too busy wandering around these, I guess, these rabbit holes that don't actually exist. And it wastes a lot of time. It doesn't help us, it doesn't help anybody else. And it could be really dark and go in like these really kind of tragic places. So the easiest explanation, the simplest explanation is usually the truth. It's a part of first principles. It's not the truth we usually want to hear, but it actually will keep us on track to actually discover the real things that are pretty extraordinary. I hope that helps.